now 13 hours 36 all across this beautiful country that we call Guyana. It has been a bit of a chilly Friday so far. I hope you had a wonderful start to your day. Remember, we're streaming on the MyTuner app and the Radio Garden app. You can also catch us on Facebook at Kaiju Radio and also YouTube at Kaiju Radio live stream. It is time for Wake Up Guyana, a special call-in program with senior journalist of Kaiju News, Mr. Leonard Gildarie, alongside his co-host, Miss Danielle Singh. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, one and all across this beautiful country of ours. It is a chilly, kind of wet day, but I want to say you be very careful on the roadways. It's very easy to take your eyes off the road, texting and then crashing, and I don't want to hear anything like that today. What I want you to do is look forward to a better Guyana, and that is what we intend to do. So I want to say a good day to my good co-host. She's back after the out of town, Danielle Singh. You got the pronunciation wrong there, my friend. It's Danielle Singh.
Denali
Danielle,
Singh.
how you doing, my dear?
I'm doing good on this cold, wet day here in Georgetown. How are you doing?
Well, pretty good. I was hoping that you would have come back bearing good gifts from wherever you would have gone to, and I didn't see anything. I didn't see
Not
anything.
because you didn't see means that it's something isn't there.
Right.
You just have to be patient. You didn't even ask about my trip. Yes, my trip was wonderful.
No, no, no. When mommy used to go out a long time back and she go into the market and things like that, and you coming back, you know that she's gonna come back. She knows she's gonna be okay. It's the bag that she's bearing in her hands that you would think, what is in there? Saraples, whatever. But I always look forward to mommy coming back. But you know in your heart that she's gonna be okay. So mommy, wherever you are, I wish you a good day. My mom is no longer here, but I do miss her terribly. A wonderful woman, a big-hearted woman. Anybody who knows her would know that she'd give away the kitchen and leave her kids starving. But that's what she is. She's taught me a lot. So good day to our beautiful people right across Guyana and wherever you join us from across the globe and across the Caribbean here, whether it's if you're in Brazil, a good day to you. I know we have many Guyanese there. In Venezuela, you guys stand strong. Things could be improved. We always have hope. And right across the Caribbean, North America, there's that we are gonna look at Toronto, New York. How you guys doing there? I know we would have had a tropical storm Isaiah a couple of days back. I hope that you guys are picking up the pieces. That everybody is good. The UK, Europe, Norway, the Netherlands, people would have been joining us all the way from there. So let's get right down into it. We want to open the lines again as normal and to hear from you guys what is happening. And we have a couple of things that we want to talk to you about. For example, tomorrow it is going to be the inauguration. A couple of days after tomorrow, Saturday, think at the National Culture Center. We are going to be heading back there after you could recall last Sunday. Drama there
Yeah.
between GCOM, and within a couple of hours, everybody was ready, and there was the immediate swearing in of a President Irfan Ali. Today, we would have seen, fast forward a couple of days, former President David Granger would have issued a statement, made a statement, and we are going to come and examine that in a very, very short while. Of course, there's big debate going on right now with regards to some reports that persons who would have been in the employ of government in the former administration were told to vacate some of the places that they were staying in. The question is, what does the regulation say with regards to how long do you have there or so on? And so ministers, we're being told, are standing by to wait to get in, to move in, to start the work into those homes. And so the question that remains on the table, Danelli, is what is a good time or what does the regulation say? So we will examine that and what should this government be doing? Should we give them more time? Should they have been, what is the moral thing to do? What is the correct thing to do? So we're not here. Of course, the issue also on the table would have been, how do we treat with some degree of respect former officials. Although some people are saying that, look, they were in there, they knew for 5 months that they had to
Mm.
move.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you get ready, especially with the president sworn in and a new cabinet in place, that
Correct.
you have to get those government properties free so people can move in and the work of Guyana could continue. So we're going to talk about that there. We're also going to talk about this Ocean View thing a little. This Ocean View, the owner or the alleged owner, Mr. Rambaran, is coming forward and saying that that they haven't paid him and he needs the money. It's 100 and something million that they owe to him. So the question is, what did we build on a place that the government did not even own, and did we really spend over $1 billion? The stories are going to come out because I don't think the Ministry of Health or anybody would be that stupid to go ahead and build on somebody else's property and you don't have
Mm.
ownership on it. So we have to find out what happened there. There's so many
Yeah.
questions that are being asked. There is a big story that is worrying me at the moment, and I've been receiving calls like crazy since last evening. And let me tell you what it is. If somebody comes to you and walk off the road and says that, look, if you invest so much money that you could get so much returns on, you got to be very, very careful. If the bank is giving you 1 and 2 and 3%,
Mm.
and then you go out on the road and somebody tell you, look, you are going to get 40% interest or whatever within a couple of weeks, be very, very careful. A lot of people have been complaining that they're left high and dry because of a number of schemes. I don't know if I should be using this word, but in a very short while, Kevin, we are going to connect with a gentleman, a financial expert who would have who has experience with these schemes, these operations that we have in Guyana. And there's a couple of them that has been running, and he has something. We have not formed an opinion here as a radio,
Yeah.
as a media house, but anybody that comes to you and is saying that, look, you should invest, be very careful. You need to ask yourself a couple of questions. Are the authorities endorsing this? And there's very simple things that you could do. Pick up the phone, call Bank Guyana. Have you authorized this? Have you
Mm.
given license to these people to operate this? Because when you collect money on behalf of somebody stating that you invest, you're operating like a banker,
Yeah.
like a bank, and there's license procedure for that, strict license procedure. In a very short while, we are going to connect with that person, and I could tell you that a couple months back, I think it is last year or this year, the Guyana Securities Council would have advertised in the newspaper about being careful about how these operations, how they being done, and that we should be very careful. They haven't been given the necessary sanctions. So we are going to be talking to that gentleman about that. But before we go there, let's go quickly into the headlines of culture news today, because it is important that we keep in touch with the news of the day. And it is August the 7th, 2020, and it's Friday. You guys be very careful on the road. I'm a little worried about Guyana and that swiftly rising number of COVID. It's past how
It's
many?
over 500 right now.
It's over
Over
500,
500.
500 cases, and you would have seen clumps of new cases, especially coming from the hinterlands, right?
Yes.
And this is something we're gonna come back to, because we've been warning people. We understand some authorities, the police and so on, are facilitating people. There's a big racket running, taking money and facilitating people from Venezuela and Brazil. Brazil is hard at the second country in the entire world after the U.S., which has the highest number of cases, over 2 million cases that they have right now, and we are allowing them, and a few greedy persons are allowing using the authority to take money and allow these people to come here, and that is a developing story, and we have to talk about it because we have to protect this country. We're gonna wake up one morning and our kids and our neighbors and everybody has this thing, and all because why we shut our mouth,
Mm-hmm.
Denelli.
Yes.
Front page culture news. Forestry Commission unable to pay July salaries. New minister told of gross mismanagement in the natural resources sector. And this yesterday would have been after the ministers, I think his minister Barrett would have met with his department heads, And you could remember a few days back, he was sworn in as a natural resources minister. And he was told that the Forestry Commission, which has been struggling for a little while, they don't have money to pay the July salaries and they owe several persons. And they would have been struggling for a little while. And of course, the minister was also told that some of the issues that they're seeing now in the various sector, because natural resources are also in charge of the mining sector as well.
Yes.
There's major issues there, and this is just what is being reported. This is what has been issued in a press statement. 17 in diaspora demand comprehensive review of oil sector. Very, very important story. We should be looking at the oil. This is a major thing that is engaging the new government's attention. This oil deal. How do we move forward from here? Because there's an existing contract, but many persons would have been telling us that there's many ways that we could, go
Hello,
through.
good day.
Yes, good afternoon. We have Joe. We're going to cut in here because we have a gentleman here, Mr. Joseph Singh. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very good. How are you today?
Pretty good. And thank you and welcome to Kaicho Radio. We have with us here Ms. Danielle Singh, and you are on the Wake Up Guyana show. And let me tell you why we decided to engage you, Mr. Singh, is that within the last couple of days, in fact, the last couple of weeks, it has been brought to our attention that there's some things going on in Guyana. People are investing in a number of operations, and they're being promised significant money. What we've been told now, a lot of people would have put in millions of dollars with different persons, and they were promised big returns. And now that they're not getting the money, they're complaining. In fact, we've been told that the Demerara Bank would have closed the accounts of a number of persons that others would have sworn by. And I know that Mr. Joseph Singh has financial background. Um, 1 second, please. 1 second, folks. Good. Our apologies. We have the wrong person on the screen there. So, in the meantime, let me tell you, Mr. Singh, that we need your help. We need to be engaged right now with regards to our people at risk because of these operations. I could tell you that based on my information, that the Guyana Securities Council would have last year issued or this year issued warnings about at least one operation. I think it is accelerated fund. I'm going to get it back. I understand that Demerara Bank would have closed the accounts of one of the persons. So I want to get right down to you, Mr. Singh. Are we at risk? You there, sir? Did we lose him? Yes, we are gonna be calling him back. Our apologies there, but there's this big story, and let me tell you what I was told this morning. Um, uh, uh, Nobody. We have to ask ourselves. These
Yes, go
persons.
ahead, please.
Yes, my apologies, sir. We lost that.
No
Um,
worries.
if you would have missed, I want to ask you, sir, right away. You're familiar with this entire issue of people collecting monies and promising big returns on your money within a couple of weeks. What is wrong with this picture? Are people at risk, sir?
Our people are very definitely at risk. I tell you what, they say if you put a drop of honey out on the porch outside, all kind of flies gonna come, and they attract to the honey. We all know Guyana right now is on the cusp or the precipice of an oil boom. Of course, our production has started, but that's gonna ramp up. Now, Guyanese are not the only ones recognizing, the huge amount of money flow that's going to come into the country, and some of it has already started.
Hmm.
Predators and sharks and wolves have the same mentality that they will look to exploit the vulnerable, and they will go where they see people are going to be making money. And that's exactly what has been happening. As the oil has come in, as the Guyanese revenues are expected and anticipated will definitely improve, a lot of what was it, conniving, actually very smart, but the word I should use is not smart, very devious people. A lot of conniving and devious come up with schemes to try and get Guyanese money out of their pockets. And it has, as you mentioned, it has already started happening. And unfortunately, it's happening I would say too much, too fast for too many people. And I'm thankful for the opportunity that you as a media person and as a media house would now, use this opportunity to warn people, to educate them, and to set them on their guard, and that in itself will save people a lot of tears, will save them, from putting their hard-earned money into scams and Ponzi schemes, and all manner of wicked, lying attempts to just rob them, some of it in a smart way. And don't get me wrong, they're not only aiming at, let's say, uneducated people. A lot of very educated people are being targeted in this, and a lot of very educated people have succumbed to this. You know, I know we all have our phones and our computers. If we Google Bernie Madoff, Bernie Madoff was the biggest Ponzi scammer in the history of the world, and a lot of his victims were very rich, very sophisticated, very educated people in the U.S.
Mr. Singh, could I ask you if this what we're seeing in Guyana could be described as a pyramid or Ponzi scheme? Would you say that? Would you go so far as to say that?
I will absolutely say that, and I stand on my word. Now, here's the thing, Leonard. My name is Joseph Singh. If they want to sue me, let them sue me. Because I'm telling you right now, I would love for them and their lawyer to come into a court and let's have the truth revealed in a court if they want to sue me. So I can speak with confidence. They will not sue me because they know to sue me, all the truth and their secrets and their wickedness will be exposed in a court. So I can stand very, very freely. And again, as we discussed, I'm not going to say what my qualifications are. You can go ahead and say it. But I'm highly qualified in this field. I have American licenses in this field of finance. And this is a big passion of mine because they're single parents. They're taking money from single parents. They're sending, honest public servants, hardworking people, cane cutters, children, teenagers on the first job. They're sending people to go and borrow money. They're sending people to go and ask their relatives for money. And all of it is to feed a scam. And again, they're very persuasive. They're very
Let me cut in. Let me cut in,
Go ahead.
Mr. Singh, and we had guided conversation. I'm going to tell you what happened a couple of weeks back, and I'm going to tell you what happened this morning, and I need you to respond to it in kind. A couple of weeks back, I was contacted on my WhatsApp, and the persons were interested. They wanted to know if I was willing to learn about trading. Forex trading is the first time that I really paid attention, and I know that it has to do that maybe something on Wall Street. That was my knowledge of it, or maybe it's trading in stocks. So I said maybe let me see how this goes. Right away, my alarm bell started ringing. I received a text the next day that added me. I'm not sure how they got my WhatsApp. They said that they got it. So that's the first thing that really raised my alarm bells. The second thing is they said that I'd have to join some kind of Zoom meeting to learn. This is teaching us how to trade. And of course, there's going to be a fee, like about $200 per month or something like that. That is the one thing. So I asked them, I tell them, could you please get in contact with me? Because I did some checks and I understand that the authorities are not aware of their presence here, and the authorities should have been made aware. The second thing that I was told is that there is another fund and something accelerated fund, that there was some how you say it, there were advertisements or notices in the media, I think including the newspapers, warning about these funds that are not regulated by the authorities. The Guyana Securities Council, I think it is, was supposed to been made aware. Apparently, they're not aware. In any case, when I started to ask questions, the people then deleted me or ejected me from the WhatsApp group, and I left it there because elections was upon us. But I'm back with it here because many people, it start hitting the internet again yesterday, the social media, but people complaining lots of money being lost. And I could tell you what I was told by an expert today, somebody who's familiar with trading on the stock market with foreign exchange and so. These are the questions that we should be asking is whether there were any license to day trade. In any case, we don't need a license to day trade. The second thing is that we should be asking, are these people dealing with something called bitcoins? Because bitcoins is an extremely risky thing, and we got to be very careful how we deal with it. Um, are the persons who are dealing with this thing, are they authorized to collect or issue guarantees? And I'm just talking to you here, sir, based on the fact that I don't know anything about this, but I'm just telling you what the person, as a report, I could only tell you back what the expert would have told me. He says, what do the persons tell you that you're dealing with that will promise all this return to you? What happens if the stock market crash? What guarantees do they give to you? And if they're promising 400% or whatever percent they're paying for you, especially when you compare to the others, why are they not advertising all over the place about this fantastic thing that they have offering, but they're only doing it on WhatsApp and maybe on some very selected social media platforms? Um, how are you sending the money to purchase the stock? He says, is there a bank in Guyana which is funding these operations? I know I put in a lot of stuff there to you. He says, how are the money to pay you returning back to Guyana? And he says, is the Bank of Guyana paying attention to this? If it's not, if all these questions are being asked and you don't have the answers, the person says, run away as fast as you can. Over to you, Mr. Singh.
The person is 100% correct. And if any person pushing these foreign currencies, quote unquote opportunities, ask these questions, they will not find a good answer because the people pushing the foreign currency cannot provide good answers to the questions. These are all very relevant questions that the financial person you spoke with definitely knows what they're doing and knows what they're talking about. And their recommendation is 100% I would endorse it, right? Again, I cannot for the Bank of Guyana. I mean, I would recommend that your listeners and maybe your readers, as citizens of Guyana, approach the Bank of Guyana and write letters and ask, inquire from the Bank of Guyana about these things because understand this, as citizens, you have rights. The Bank of Guyana is there to serve the Guyanese population. And if the Guyanese population are being misled, are being defrauded, and are being scammed, they have every right to approach the Bank of Guyana. And we don't know if the Bank of Guyana is aware of what's going on. But all it takes from any one of us is to sit down, write an email to the governor, email to the Bank of Guyana, put it on the website, or just old-fashioned pen and paper, print a letter and mail it or walk it into Bank of Guyana if you live in Georgetown. If enough people flag this issue, it will force the Bank of Guyana to pay attention to it. Now, I'm not sure how long your program is, how much time you have, but
We have like
I
about maybe 15 minutes because I really want to think, but I want to bring you back because this is
sure go
something
ahead.
we have not formed a conclusion in it. In fact, I'm very ignorant in it. Somebody made a comparison between this and something called a box hand. I never threw a box hand in my life, but I could tell you, I think it's chalk and cheese we're talking about here. But I want to hear your thoughts on that. When it says like a box hand, you get it. What is it that
All
we're
right,
talking about here?
all right. So there are two separate scams: foreign currency, foreign exchange trading. That's one scam. The accelerated income is a different scam. Now, the foreign currency don't claim to be Boxan, but the accelerated income scam claims to be Boxan. And I'll tell you how it works. They have, shall we say, let's imagine four circles, a big one and three smaller ones, in the big one, right? Now, the first outside circle, if you come in, I know one of them operating in Guyana has the buy-in is around 300,000 Guyana dollars. There's another one, I think, when I say the buy-in, I mean you have to pay this money to join this group or whatever. There's another one on the which is 100,000 Guyana dollars, which is, let's say, give or take 500 US. Now, they call it different words. Some they call it gifting. Some they call it a blessed circle and put all these, forgive my language, some people call it blessing circle and make it sound very religious. It's not. All of this religious verbiage and terminology that they use is part of the scam, to hoodwink people and to exploit people's minds and people's vulnerability. But let's look at the box stand. I mean, I grew up in Guyana, and a lot of us Guyanese, our parents might have done a box stand. A box stand is something simple. Every month, I don't know, 8, 10, whatever number of people,
Mm-hmm.
they put the money together, whether it's again, 100 or 1,000, whatever. But it's a fixed amount of money you put, mind you, with people who you know, and if it's 8 people, then at the end of the 8th month you collect the money, and it calculates like that. But here's the important thing of the box hand. The box hand is not a slide on the text for simple reason. Because the box hand, the amount of money you put in is what you get out. So if you put $100 in the box hand, in 10 months you get 100 times 10, you get $1,000. It's the same $100 every month. So box hand, what you put in is what you get out.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple, very straightforward. It's actually income, not the box hand. What they claim is you put in $100,000 and you can pull out, a million or $1.2 million. Now, how the money just jump to, 1.2 or 1.3 million all of a sudden? I'll tell you how it jumped. Because when you put in your 100,000, you do not get a cent back unless you bring 2 more people in to put in 200,000 more. 100,000 each.
Mm-hmm.
And then those 2 people who you bring in, gotta bring in 2 more people, which is another 100,000 each. So you put 100,000, 2 people bring 20,000. That's a 300,000. Those 2 people got to bring 4 more people in total. That's 400,000. So 400,000 plus 200,000, 600, and one. So it's 700,000 so far. I don't know if you follow me. And then when those 4 people bring in 8 more people, because each got a person got to bring 2 more each, right? Then it reaches over $1 million, and then is when you collect. So really and truly, you are collecting money from people, and the only hope they have is that everybody else who is brought in pays, because they say it's a circle and a point, it's a triangle, so they say it's not a point because it's a circle. I'll tell you what, it's a circle that's made up of 4 or 5 triangles. So it is a Ponzi scheme, because if whoever goes into this accelerated income, for them to, when they give the $100,000 or 200,000, 22 other people have to give them before they can collect buy their money.
Mm-hmm.
So these people in these, they call it blessing circle, they call it accelerated income, they spend all their time trying to pull people in and persuade and ring down people's phone and harass them. Oh, come on, John, you make money, you make money. They're doing sort of selfishness because they're not concerned about people's sacrifice, and if people got it, don't buy groceries or don't buy medicine or how children school fees can pay or anything. All they're concerned about is getting the 100,000 from people, or again, somebody 20,000. All they're concerned is getting people to come in with their money and selling them. I know the young people called sell a dream. Sell these people a dream,
Mm-hmm.
but they're doing it because if they don't do that, they don't get back their money.
How many? Do you have any indication, Mr. Joseph Singh? How many people would have been? I won't say robbed, but I would say lashed by by these schemes. And how much
Um,
money we talking about here?
I tell you what. Okay, on the blessing circle or the accelerated income, I have a number on that because I've just started to get my information.
Mm-hmm.
But the other one, which is the foreign currency or the foreign exchange scam, I am actually in those in chats, and I'm in the WhatsApp group, so I listen to the calls and watch the program, and it's a whole lot of hype. And I know for a fact one of them, he might not be the only one. I'll call his name. His name is Michael Ali from Trinidad. In Michael Ali's Zoom chat group, he says he has 200 people from Guyana, and each of those 200 people are paying 200 US a month. So that's 40,000 US dollars a month. That's 8 million Guyana dollars in foreign currency being lost by the country, being scammed from people. Because all these, like I said, maybe on another program I can break down the foreign exchange for you, find facts, show people exactly how they're doing it. But as per your question, I kind of focus on the accelerated income part. I'd be happy to maybe arrange another time. Even if you wanted to set aside time for your viewers, your listeners to call in,
No,
I'd be
we,
happy
we,
to
we
answer the
want.
questions
I
and so
want
on.
to continue this because let me tell you, Mr. Singh, this program here, what we do here is to raise the debate, to bring awareness, to let people make informed choices, and the only way they could do that is by having information. In this particular case, we are going to inform them. I know a lot of my colleagues within the media also. who would swear on their life and maybe on their family life that this is something that is legit. My question to them, if it's legit, how come the bank again and everybody, well, not the bank again, and the Securities Council and everybody issuing warnings and notices about this? So we got to be very, very careful. We will continue to follow it. What I would say to the people of Guyana is that if anybody approach you and they want you to get in this and pay you $200 or so, start running or tell them, hold on, I need to get more information. Pick up the phone, call the Bank of Guyana, call the Guyana Securities Council, and find out from them whether you should or should not, and you're gonna be very surprised. Now, a lot of people or people are gonna tell you that they made some money. You should ask them about the others and whether they have all the information. Maybe a few people got some money, but at the end of the day, what is happening now? I understand, and what I was told, Mr. Singh, is that a lot of businessmen are very much ashamed now because they plunged in headlong into it, seeing the lucrative returns that they were promised, and then all of a sudden they left high and dry. A lot of people who were hoping to make some money because of the COVID-19 crisis left high and dry. They were literally robbed because of maybe they didn't know what they were getting themselves involved. But what I could tell you is that anything that is too good to be true, then you know what it is. You continue the statement there. So, in closing, Mr. Singh, I know that you have tons of knowledge in this, and I want to bring you back. I'm gonna set aside some time, and we are gonna do as we develop this because obviously I want to bring these people on board, the persons who would be involved, maybe from the accelerated funds and whoever else is involved, and they could bring the lawyers too, and if they want to talk on the radio station, and if they want to tell people how good and exciting this is, maybe the whole Guyana could chip in and invest in it if it's so good. Because
Absolutely.
I want to earn some money too. Denelli, you want to earn some money too? And I think Rads is looking very, very happy across there. His dollar signs are lighting up there. But I think all Guyanans should be very happy that these things are so exciting that we should invest. But as of now, without much information, as a responsible newspaper, we're going to tell you, as a responsible radio station, we're going to tell you, hey, calm yourself down. Do not get too excited. Let us look at this thing again. Because if that was being the case, the whole world, you would have been seeing it on CNN and the rest of the place. You want to make some money fast? Let us put ourselves in it. It is the biggest gold mine in the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, I hope we can repeat this again. If you can get someone of their representatives, I'd be happy to debate them. Let's put each other on a panel, let them make the presentation, let them say what they have to say. If they can prove me wrong, I'd be happy to prove them wrong. I want people to make money, but I don't want people to rob them for it.
I agree with you, and thank you very much, Mr. Joseph Singh. I'm sorry that we had to bring it to a close, but we are going to continue this conversation. It is part of the awareness program for people in Guyana, what they should and should not do, and let us be very cautious when we are, how you say it, investing. It's a new something. It sounds exciting. These guys, people are very smooth when they talk to you. They bring it over. It's the best thing that could happen in the world. You're gonna make so much of money. You're gonna be driving a Lexus in the next couple of weeks. So let us get a show on the road. And these guys are smooth, man. You would not believe it. A guy called me from Barbados, I think it is, or Jamaica. Says, this thing is legit. This thing is above board. Do you want to be part of the school? The guy, I said, do you understand that I am calling you as a reporter of Kaicho News? He says, yes, but you still have the opportunity, to invest and make some money. And I left it as that. I don't have a lot of money, but I can tell you that I, I like the little dollars that I have, the little money that I have. I want to save it. I don't want to give it away just like that. Let me give it to somebody who needs it. All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Singh. Have a pleasant rest of the day, and thank you for your time.
Thanks, Leonard. Thank you.
God bless. Bye bye. So there you would have had it. Questions over a number of operations. Danelli, are you blown away?
I'm not. I actually had several persons approach me with the same offer. Let's make millions. Let's. This is what you can accomplish. And then they have persons sharing their testimonies saying, "Oh, I was a single mother. I had $100 in my pocket." And I didn't have no other source of income, and then here Somebody approached me with this offer, and now I'm making millions. I'm driving my own this car, that car. I have my own house, and a lot of persons would have approached me, and the same question. I had the same concern. I was like, okay, how is this exactly working out? It sounds a little too good to be true. But what I realized, and what Mrs. Singh would have touched on, is that they are focusing on recruiting persons. It's not really the trading that they're making money from, or they're claiming that they're making money from, but it's rather them recruiting people. Okay, I'm gonna call Leonard. Leonard, can you recruit 50 people? Can you submit a list of with 50 names of persons who might be interested, and you're gonna get 100 US off of each. And automatically you're gonna think that, you know what, hey, I can do this. I'm gonna go recruit 50, and then I'm gonna move to 100, and then the persons that you recruit, the same offer goes to them. You have to recruit more persons now if you want to make money. So you're not making money trading, but you're making money by recruiting people. And that is, to me, that is where the scam comes in.
The person overseas that called me told me that, look, this thing is a school. It's an online school that you go
Yes.
in a Zoom meeting, and they tell you how you to trade on Forex, and they're actually brokers who standing by to take your money to put it in, and it's guaranteed. So what we really haven't, we are not trading. We are the one who teaching you how to trade. So that is the thing. So they're also using to recruit more and more people. And if you can afford to pay the 200, they're gonna pay it for you, and all kind of things is
Yeah.
happening. But
Yeah.
let me make it very clear. If you people are listening to us out there, Kaicho Radio is gonna open the station to you guys to come and tell us whether you are licensed, one, who's regulating you, two, three, why all Guyana. We're gonna give you an opportunity to tell us why all Guyana should come on board with you. I'm excited. My salary is small, but I would like to put aside
Yeah.
another $10,000. I call it a box, and let's see whether I can make some money. I'm excited about that, my
But you
friend.
see, the thing is, it's not $10,000 they're asking for. They're asking for $50,000 a month, every single month from you, and then you have no guarantee that you're going to make this money back. None whatsoever.
Man, if there's a faster way of throwing away money, I don't know. But look, the radio is here. We want to open it for you guys. So all across this land, whether it is you in your kitchen garden, and it's happening right across this country. Everybody is coming within every village. I understand. People coming to you, smooth talking, and they're telling
Yeah.
you this. If you're listening, pass the message down. Be very careful. Let's wait until we have some information and develop on it. Today we should be talking a lot of things politics because the political situation is developing. But this, I think, based on the complaints that I would have been getting, that I decide to address this today because I wouldn't like anybody to be calling, crying, and let me tell you this: when you lose your money and you don't have money to lose, it's a devastating thing. It could cause people to do wrong things. So I would like the authorities, if you guys are listening, I'm going to be calling the Bank of Guyana governor in a very short while to inform them about this because this is something that is worrisome. I'm wondering why the Bank of Guyana and nobody else has called in the police. Maybe if they believe it's unregulated, why did they not issue statements about
Correct.
this? We need to see actions. People money are being collected. You're not the bank. How did you collect it? Who are these people attached to? Why business people jumping in? I mean, you guys got to be smarter than that, man. You got to be smart. And I don't think we're really looking at this situation here. Well, let's get on right with our business today because we want to hit the lines. We want you to tell us about whether you have had any experience with these kind of operations. We want you to tell us about what you expect from government. We want you to tell us about all the headlines, and the headlines of Culture News today is very, very simple. The Forestry Commission ordered to pay July salaries, new minister told of gross mismanagement in natural resources sector. And the big headline, 17 in diaspora demand comprehensive review of oil sector. And these are some of the things that they want to address. They want a resolution of the discrepancies in the pre-contract cost. They want a probe on the cost of the anomalies between LISA 1 and 2. They want a review of the tax paid by Guyana for the oil companies. They want to review the unspecified interest rates on the oil companies' loans. They want an improvement on the weak environmental standards. and on regulation, more regulations on the amount of oil being produced. There are many things that we would have seen. We were handed a bill before Exxon went into production, I think last December, of almost $1 billion, $900 million. How did they arrive at that cost? Is it realistic what they're giving us? Did they charge everything from hiring of planes and everything, and then put it on us? And those were, did they pay $2 million to hire that plane when it should have been $100,000? These are questions that we need to know. We want the taxes paid. Guyana has agreed, based on the contract with ExxonMobil, to pay the taxes of that company in some ways, and so we'd have to look back at that. The Exxon is borrowing money, and there are questions over the interest rates that they're charging, because there's one way of making money. If you're a money lender, the interest that you charge, Danielle, the interest that you charge somebody is where you're making the money on. So if
Mm-hmm.
your interest, when the banks are charging 30%, and they're charging 30%, something is definitely wrong there. So we got to look back at that. They want to, right about now, I don't think there's a cap in the amount of oil that could be produced. I think the capacity of the actual FPSO that we have there is about 120,000 barrels per day. Um, uh, that, you know, how do you, as a country that own these oil concessions, how do you control it? So we have to know that. Controversial 1.6 billion COVID-19 hospital owner now demands over $52 million in rent. And this is since, this is what, 13 fours, 4 months of rent, $52 million. Guyanese crew stranded on boat in Trinity waters. Blanham, crime chief. Wendell Blanham is back as crime chief. How you doing, sir? We hope that, I see this morning you guys would have made a bust of several guns in a safe and things like that after a raid to a particular place. How did these guys, a couple of young guys, have so many guns and a
Yeah.
lot of cash and everything? I mean, this is what a crime chief would have been doing. A good day to you, sir. Have a pleasant stay as the crime chief. We hope that you solve many crimes. New arbitration act needed for oil industry. Attorney General Anna Nanlal. Ex-ministers given 36 hours to vacate government houses. Schumann to take join the seat in parliament. ExxonMobil will not be able to meet deadline to end flaring. EPA head. We have those third parties. This is an important story. Those joint parties, as they call it, three parties. I think it's LBJ, ANOG. There's a Schumann party, Ramkaran's party, as well as some other party there. I think it's a doctor's party. Can't remember it. They have nominated Schumann under an arrangement for him to go in about 2.5 years thereabout. So that's interesting, and he's going to take up that lone seat that the new parties would have gotten. So it is 33 seat for the People's Progressive Party, 31 seats for the coalition, and of course the one seat for the join the party. With regards to those 31 seats with the coalition, it's a 70-30 split for APNU against AFC. And you would have known, we would have had Cameron Ramsden, leader of the AFC, here a couple nights back. He was specifically asked about the question, how many seats are you having? So he's saying they are going to get 30% of that 31 seats. A lot of people, of course, would have gone on, and there were questions when you divide it, 9 plus 1, 9 plus 0.5 and everything. I saw some maths there, and I wonder, I got to go back to school. I'm not that bright. I'm not that bright,
But
folks.
we all know Guyana has a math problem.
Yeah. We have a math problem, but it is very serious. What we've seen here, we have to pay attention to the political situation. Parliament is going to be named the members within a very short while. We hope to have a convening of Parliament so we could pass our budget very quickly, and this country could move forward. Um, uh, uh, so somebody, let me see. I think somebody would have sent me here. Um, uh, okay, we are going to come back to this accelerated fund and these other investments. This is a story that is developing. I'm going to ask you guys to stand with us as we bring it. Um, uh, a lot of people have been hurt. I understand, and they're complaining, but they're ashamed. A lot of people are ashamed because of they were warned, be very careful, and then nevertheless they had some hopes. But this is how things happen. So let us be very careful. We're going to give the people the benefit of the doubt because I want to invest. I'm going to borrow some money from Raj and Danielle and invest it and see how it works. It's not going to be my money, and I'm going to tell them though that there's a risk that is involved. There's a risk that is involved. This morning, Denelli, because I've been speaking a lot, I want to give you a little short while. We head to the phones, and then, but there was a statement coming out from the former president, David Granger, and I want to read what he has to say. And this is coming from Kiteshore News right now. Kiteshore News would have had a breaking story. Granger says PNC acted responsibly throughout elections. And I'm just going to read it. Leader of the People's National Congress, PNC, former President David Granger said in a statement today that the PNC acted responsibly at all times during the elections process. The coalition, which the PNC is at the helm, uh, was the subject of much scrutiny during the period as there were numerous attempts to fraudulently alter the results of the elections in its favor. Granger maintains, even after swearing in of President Irfan Ali on August 2nd, that only valid votes should have formed the basis of a final decision, and the declaration made includes fraudulent votes. Moving forward, he's condemned what he determines to be an atmosphere of loathing and fear being facilitated by the new PPC government, although its move to quickly through its move to quickly evict former ministers from the government houses. He said that the PPPC should not pursue any dangerous pattern of aggression. I did speak with Abeda Moore. I think she's the permanent secretary of the Ministry of the Presidency this morning. She says there's a lot of rumors going on social media at the moment that two ministers, I think it's Garrido Law as well as Sidney Yalicock, they have been given maybe a month or so to remain in the home because they're living out of town. So she says that they are taking a comprehensive look at some of the rumors and lies that was spread over the last couple of hours. And there's going to be a statement from government with regards to these eviction, as she called it, these eviction in inverted commas. So we are waiting on that. But in the meantime, many persons says many of the PPP people who would have been looking on at this situation would have been saying, look, you knew for 5 months that you had to move out. Why is it you can't? Are you shamefacedly, holding on to these things? Although you know that the president and ministers, the president sworn in, ministers waiting to get in there. There are others on the other side, including some people that are going to parliament that join the list and so on, who's saying, it is proper that we give people the necessary time to get themselves in order. So it is a situation, it is a developing situation that is very fluid at the moment, and it is sending a lot of the mixed messages. Of course, let us wait and see what happens. I'm going to read to you in a very short while a statement that is coming, um, uh, a statement that is coming from the APNU FC, and as soon as I get that, I'm going to read that to you. But in the meantime, over to you, Denelli. I've spoken a lot.
All right, we want to hear from you folks. So the number to call is 226-7453. That number again, 226-7453. Also, you can text us on WhatsApp or, give us a SMS message or something on 622-2222. We want to hear from you. It's Wake Up Guyana. This is your show. And of course, we want to hear what some of your concerns are. So do we have a caller online? Caller, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're on to Wake Up Guyana.
I would just like to congratulate you guys for the great job that you're doing. Keep it up.
All right. Thank you very much.
That's it? All
I
right. And
guess.
thank you very much, dear caller. And we all need some encouragement from time to time. I missed the room 592 last evening, and I so regretted it. If you guys have missed it, it is on Kiteshore News live stream. Kaicho Radio live stream rather on YouTube. You could also get it on Kaicho Radio on Facebook. Take a look at it. It was Chandas Prasad and it was Selwyn, attorney at law Selwyn Peters, both are attorney at law. And you remember the role that Chandas would have played for the December the 21st, 2018, no confidence motion. He would have fled, he would have left Guyana in a hurry, jumped on a plane because he was fearful of his life, and went over to Canada, where I think he was allowed as a Canadian citizen to stay there. But he is willing to come back. He says he wants to come back and serve his country. He's not fearful for his life anymore, and so you should take a look at that thing. But I did miss it. I went home and I felt so tired. We've been doing this continuously for 5 months. So the caller who would have been calling there, and it's the encouragement is there.
Yeah.
But we are going to continue. This radio station is not going anywhere. Whether it's Gildarie or Danielle or Raj, anybody is going to be here. You can even call Glenn, let him come on. But he's a very shy guy. If you're listening, Mr. Lala, good day to you, sir. I know that you're. If I call you and say let's discuss oil, you're going to be very very happy because that's something you're very passionate about.
Yeah.
You're warning people. Don't you feel sometimes as enthusiasm is rubbing off that we all become how you say it? We all become crusaders.
It is
Crusaders,
true. It
crusaders
is
for
true
the
because
oil.
wherever I go, as once oil conversations come up, I automatically go into Glenn Lal mode, and I start telling people about sharing the information that I would have learned over the past 2 months, sharing it with them, and let me tell you about this experience I had the other day. I was coming to work in a taxi, and the taxi driver was like, "Oh, we get enough money from this oil deal," and I was like, "Wait, hold up." You don't understand half of what is going on. So I started, sharing with him the information that I would have read and Mr. Lau would have shared with us, and we would have carried in the papers. And this taxi driver pulled over in the corner, and I got scared because I was like, "Oh, did I do something wrong?" And the taxi driver turned around, he was like, in Creoles, "You lie." And I was like, "Nope, I'm not." I'm not lying one bit. And then he got mad. And he now was like, "You know what? I'm going to share this information with my people." I was home yesterday and I was sharing with my family, telling them about our oil deal and how, what is happening to Guyana, what is going to happen to Guyana. So I feel Mr. Lal's enthusiasm is rubbing off, not just on me, but everybody here at Kaisha Radio, including Raj. Right, Raj? Yeah. So do we have another caller? Yeah. Good. All right, good. So, yes, Gildarie. So, what about you? Are you enthusiastic about oil?
No, I'm always enthusiastic, and you know why? What has made me? I won't say enthusiastic. I won't use that word. I would say very passionate about. I think this last couple months and what would have transpired. And let me tell you why. I've always grown up very, very hard, and I think so. A lot of Guyanese would say the same thing. The 80s was very, very brutal. My dad died when I was 6. He was killed as a policeman, and so heading into the 80s, going to school, we used to walk from Queens College down to the park. We couldn't afford it, and growing up in those times, it made you very, very tough. Um, when you would have seen what happened the last couple of months, what people are complaining about the government going to the World Bank and the IMF, then you see stories because where you're sitting here is from an eagle's eye perspective. You're able to see things, see documents, and when you see what the Russell company would have done to us, what you see when you look at the gold companies, what our locals are not being given and a foreign company being given. And the local companies say, if you give us the same kind of deal, we're going to probably do it and keep the money right here.
Yes.
And when you see the oil deal, when you see the what we have out there, and we have our people begging us for a little help, like hampers and things like that, it gets you angry. And then you want to start educating the people that if you start opening your mouth about what we have here, about what we could do, and not allowing any representative, government representative of or others to jerk your strings around and they're the tail that is wagging the dog, then you start understanding that look, We aren't not going to tolerate or have a repeat what happened. I see the nonsense, what has been continuing from a lot of people who have been pushing narratives that continues to try to divide this country. These are not things I take very, very lightly. I get very passionate about that. And of course, this is something that we're going to hold the feet of this government to the fire. One of the big things that I keep saying is that they should do everything within the power, have a special ministry to try to heal this damage to our psyche, to our entire being in Guyana. Imagine people that I grew up with because of this political situation. Many of them stopped talking. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure why.
Yeah.
When I see some of the language, and I can't blame them, they don't know better. But it is because of a few politicians, a few leaders who have decided to go in a particular way. They've done damage, and I don't think we're going to recover from this in a little while. I hope President Irfan Ali, Mr. Bar Jagdi as vice president, and all the other ministers and leaders take the necessary steps so we could be able to heal. We want maybe, I'm not sure if it's the ERC, if it's a special ministry that comes out and keep preaching to people, whether it's our leaders in the religious bodies, in churches, in the mosque, wherever you are. And it starts at home too. As a neighbor, if you live into somebody who of a different ethnicity, do not look at them like that. Look at them as Guyanese first and foremost. Let us reach out to them. Let us show them the love. We know what is better. We would sit down, hit dominoes with them. We'd cook a bush cook with them, and we'd say all is well. We'd have some rum with them and be happy. Let us come back to those days. Do not allow a few idiots. I call them that.
Yeah.
A few greedy idiots to divide this country. We're not going to tolerate you. And we're going to name and shame you too if it comes to that. I think this is about time. This is a different time. And this is time for us to move forward to a different level. We have too much resources here. We have too much of a good people. And if this government does not work, they're going to be changed. There's going to be another government. But I listened to President Irfan Ali like the way that I listened to former President David Granger. And you must have hope in the system. You must have hope that country comes first. And I can remember I did say the pledge. I read the pledge out a couple of days back with Yoga and myself was sitting here. And when you listen to the pledge and what I pledged myself to, these guys don't know what the national pledge is. They don't have any idea. So the nonsense that we would have been seeing, I'm very passionate about. It's a long-winded explanation as to
Yeah.
why I feel so very strongly, why I'm passionate about the oil and our natural resources, why our people should benefit. And we should continue to fight for it. It belongs to us. When you see places like Qatar and places like Saudi Arabia and the Middle East and so on, many countries which are doing extremely well, why should we not aspire to be like a Singapore as well, where development is taken into another level? When you see the beautiful things that they have done because they have a disciplined people.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sounding like a preacher now, but at the end of the day, let us be serious about this. This is a country. It is our country. Let us get up. Let us wake up. And that is why this show, his name is not to wake up in the morning. It's to wake up your soul, wake up your being, and develop this country. Start doing it. Do not tolerate anybody to break the laws. Do not give bribes. Do not do anything that is against our constitution. It must be respected. Not a policeman, not anybody. My entire being is saying no. Let us not walk that road. So, over to you back, my dear.
Do we have a caller on the line? Caller, good afternoon to you. This is Wake Up Guyana.
Hi, good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Hi, this is Mr. Gildarie, and what's your name again?
Danielle is our
Hi,
name.
Gildarie. Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, Mr. Gildarie, where were you last night, 592?
I was tired. It was 5 months, man. I needed to
Oh,
take a break. No, I wasn't feeling that well.
you
I,
get caught in the fish net. How long you gonna run?
I know. It's human being, eh? We all humans.
I know that. Oh my God! I must congratulate Dr. You. He was awesome. He blasted you. Oh my! I enjoyed the program.
I've already made some statements about me, and I'm gonna address it tonight. You can rest assured of that.
I call no name. I know not. I was playing a lot with you just now a game. Anyhow, anyhow, this program here. I must say 592 and this 130 program. This is a new name
Yeah,
it has
because
now.
yoga's gone, elections time have gone. We're moving up to
Yes, I
develop in this country
understand.
right now. It's a
But
different program.
but the reason why I called, there's lots of things that I have never known. I know I heard it last night. And I want to save this program, the daytime program and in the night. Again, I would say I've gained a lot of knowledge.
Hmm.
I'm the one that called, it's right, 2 days ago, I will mention my name because I just get attacked.
Hmm.
hmm Last night program. Oh my gosh, the one with this building here that this guy Rambaran, Mr. Rambaran.
Hmm.
Well, I I I get at peace with Mr. Selwyn, the lawyer, what he
Hmm.
has said. I got a relief,
Hmm.
right? Another one, I must say, these guys. I don't know how many times I want to move, but I don't know what I must say. But anyhow, I glad what everything going on. I get peace. I didn't
Hmm.
get the peace all the time, and I must congratulate you and Mr. Gildarie for this program. I don't want
Well,
the
it's one and
program.
the same person, but go ahead.
Pardon me?
It's one and the same person, but go ahead.
I want to say I don't want this program between you two y'all to delete at all. No erase must continue because I would use the word and you would know it. Who you give me hope.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
That I must go ahead and we must go ahead and let us continue living as one. Let us don't let one or two or three or few people divide us. We are all human and we must live as one. We never used to live like this. Mr. Gaydar, I can tell you the country that I come from is here Negro. I come from Pleasance. I'm from Pleasance, and you know Pleasance is what? Right?
Hmm.
You might know, but we used to live very, very nice.
Well, we should go back to there. We should not have any division now.
Yes, let us live as one. We must have a little peace now. I must say thank you. Been listening about this money thing, and so
Hmm.
um, it didn't happen to me. At the time, I ain't got money,
Hmm.
so they can't come to me. Anyhow, thank you so much. But I don't forget her name already.
Denelli. We got to find a shorter name for her. I would say
We're gonna
Danny.
bring on
I'm
Kevin
gonna find
too.
something. Ellie,
We're gonna bring
something.
on Kevin sometime.
Yes, yeah. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yes, you're
Yes,
welcome.
yes. Thank you very much. So tonight I'm going to be dealing with Yog. Yog said something, but I must tell Yog that I had on an apron last night, and I know the cook roti. I'm not sure whether he knows.
I
So
have a
we could,
question.
yes.
Are you a clapper or are you a shaker?
Um, suppose I tell you both. What would you say? I do, but no, but I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I wasn't feeling well.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like a little overwhelmed. Tomorrow is going to be the inauguration.
Yeah.
I think I've been invited, and so I'm going to probably go. I've never been to an inauguration. Have you been to an inauguration?
I've never been to one.
I think our reporters are going to be there to bring you live coverage tomorrow, right here on Kaicho Radio, the inauguration of President Irfan Ali Guyana's ninth president. And so we are going to, I think the honeymoon, somebody say the honeymoon is going to be over shortly because of the situation that we in a couple of days is going to be over. We are looking at what the ministries are going to be finding, what they're going to be saying, what are some of the programs, how do they bring this economy back on an even keel. How are we going to deal with the COVID 19? I think it was reported yesterday we did receive a big supply of emergency items
From the
for
CDC.
yeah from the for the CDC.
Hmm.
A couple of places this would have been from CARICOM, from the SEDIMA, from the Jack Ma Foundation. I think the United Arab Emirates, and we have
Yeah.
over 46,000 people, 46,000 rapid testing COVID 19 kits. What we should be worried about, and which I keep saying to you guys got to be very, very careful. Watch how you are going around the place. Please wear your mask. Please protect yourself. Please do not go to a bar. please careful how you're doing things. We want you guys to be safe. We want you to be enjoying or to reap the success of this country. This country is going to be successful, whether it's through this government, whether it's the next government, whoever is going to be there. We have to insist that we enjoy it, and we don't
Mm-hmm.
want to enjoy it 30 years from now. We want to see the good things that are promised to us very shortly. And when we see people getting back to the jobs, if you're in the kitchen and if you're cooking right now, a good day to all the housewives who've battered the storms, who've battered this hurricane, who've battered this pandemic over the last couple of months. You guys are real heroes. The fathers who would have lost the job and still work through to keep the family together, because there's a lot of stress. You know, there's a lot of stress if you lose a job and you have a couple kids looking at you, and the wife is there, and you have mortgage in the head, and you have bills coming. It's not an easy thing. I have many days people call and say, Gildarie, people literally crying if you listen to what he's saying to you, and I meet them on the road every single day. It literally, I've changed my life completely over
Mm.
this last couple months. I want to give back every day that I can do something, and in fact, let me make a call right now. If anybody has anything that they want to help with, hampers, whatever it is, you guys just send me a message on my Facebook or 6222222, and let us try to give to some people. I'm gonna make an announcement when I get it in my hand, for you, for some vulnerable family, hard hit, that we could probably help. It's a little gesture, but let's start somewhere. We have
Yeah.
to start somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
Denali. So back to you.
All right, we have another caller on the line. Good afternoon to you. Caller, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi there, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I want to say congratulations to the new president and the entire PPPC, and to Bar Jagdeo. I want to give him a salute because he fight for this country, and I know we are seeing that better gonna come in this country. And although they APNU, they still attacking us. We know we getting good in this country. We don't see it coming. And I want to say congratulations. We happy, happy, happy. Guyana getting back to its foot again. Thank you.
All right, thank you for calling.
Thank you very much, dear, from the caller. And let me tell you, this morning, I think it is Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, Gail Tashiro, would have had a press conference, and she's saying that all the political appointees, people who were hired, not the people who are part of the establishment
Mm-hmm.
or in the public service, but if Dinelli or Gildari wanted a job, and maybe as a PR, or you're working maybe whatever it is that you do there,
Mm-hmm.
and you're in a contract, and you're there not as part of maybe like a secretary, you're not a secretary, but just a research assistant or so. So we give you 1 week to resign. If you don't resign, we're gonna fire you,
Hmm.
because you're not part. They've been given contract, in addition to the public service which we have, which has been described by former finance minister Winston Jordan as being bloated. You also have contract workers who are working with the system, and these many of them are political appointees. So if you were with me during the political campaign, and I like the way that you work, I would say, look, here's a little reward for you, maybe, or a little job.
Yeah.
You probably would have done well, but the fact is, when a new government comes in, like all over in the United States, when Donald Trump came in, the persons who were in maybe in the offices or so knew that because they were on the outside with Obama or so, you have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go.
Yeah.
These are expected things. So why are you holding on? I'm not sure. I have my personal opinion in that if you had 5 months knowing this thing could go east or south or north, you should have been prepared. But of course, the regulations are very clear. If somebody's living there, living in the government house or whatever it is, um, how come you haven't, you probably would have, according to the regulations, be given certain time. But do we have any text or anything that's coming in? So we are gonna bring you some text. But in the meantime, let's get back to the lines.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Um, I'm calling to congratulate Dr. Irfan Ali.
Could you lower
Congratulations.
your phone? Could you lower your radio, please?
I don't have my radio on.
Something is sending a feedback. Well, go ahead.
I'm calling from a cell phone, my
Yes.
cell phone. Yeah. Good afternoon. I would like to say congratulations to our new president. Also, I'd like to make a comment. I don't know if you guys could help me out. I was born with a heart problem, right?
Uh-huh.
I was listening to a lady yesterday. Actually, she was talking about like heart patients. And for the past couple years, I was living with this heart problem. I got two surgery has done, and I done two back more in Guyana. Actually, the doctors came from overseas, and they did two more. But right now, I'm stating to be doing a next one. But right now I'm with the Georgetown Hospital, the heart failure clinic, and I'm concerned in that how I don't have these kind of money to buy these medication, and I was apply for self support, like to buy these medication because due to the heart condition, I have to get these medications. And one of the statements too I'm making that I am trying to raise money to get a oxygen tank. The hospital told me they will help me. I give them a quotation, and they did not give me a back answer to get this oxygen tank to use home because I can't have enough oxygen to breathe. I'm not an asthma case,
Mm-hmm.
but due to this heart problem I have to get oxygen. Every time I take in, I have to go to the Georgetown Hospital to get oxygen
Mm-hmm.
because I don't get enough oxygen to pump. The heart is very weak. It's like I get my fingernails get blue, my toes get blue, my lips get blue,
Mm-hmm.
everything. So it's like I have my parents, but they are my dad is a pension. My mom, she's going to be on pension next year actually, and me and my mom and my dad live, but how much they could afford to give me to buying these medications. And I applied for this support and I did not get no help. The people tell me that they're going to come and investigate, and they did not come and investigate. They didn't even call me.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So,
What I could advise you to do, if you can, pick up the phone, or if you have any time that you're down Georgetown Ministry of Social Protection, but also, if you could get on and maybe get on to the what's the lady name? Across Miss Colette Adams, very beautiful woman at the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Public Health. Maybe you could make contact with her or office and tell her that you spoke with us, and then maybe if there's anything that you could use our office to see how they could help you there.
but where is that located?
This is
Can I
Dong
have?
Brick Dam. This is Dong Brick Dam, right by Coffee Square there. Ministry of
Yes,
Health is right on Big Dam, almost at like the very last building there,
yes, yes.
and maybe you
And
could take it from there.
but um, but this is like the new Minister of Health in there right now.
Yeah, he's there. But the person, the minister is the minister in charge of policies. The person who does the everyday thing
Mm-hmm.
is the permanent secretary, and she's a very nice woman. I've had dealings with her in the past. Very approachable, and she has a heart of gold. I know that she's always willing to help or maybe give you some advice as to maybe how to do it.
Yeah, because when I asked for this public assistance, like right, I took my documents, all my heart papers, like the surgery, what I did, I carry everything,
Like
and I took.
go back to her and let's start the process and keep me posted what's happening.
Okay then, thank you, Mr. Gildarie.
Good day, my dear. Thank you very much. Bye bye. And so we go to some messages now. Danielle, what do we have for the
All
people of
right.
Guyana today?
We have persons asking, when will the airport be reopening? We have seen a significant increase in the number of COVID 19 cases. So I don't think the airport is going to be reopening anytime soon. Within a matter of a week, I would say we jumped from 400 confirmed cases. To date, we're at 538 cases. Over 100 cases in a week, and that's looking bad.
But you know what is shocking to me, and this is a clear message to our people in Guyana. You guys got to be very very careful. The numbers are coming 1920. I think last night was it 28 last night. What was it?
I'm believing, I think we had 11 cases yesterday.
Yesterday, but the day before it was like coming in clumps.
Yeah.
I'm really, really worried with that, and it's coming especially. I think it's from the hinterlands.
Yes,
We guys got to
yes.
be very, very careful. If you gold miners know we're working hard, you want to take a wash down, you guys got to be very careful in the hinterlands there. Don't believe that the COVID is only on the coast. It's also if people coming from the border areas and nobody's checking on them. And that's why I think it's very criminal. The police force got to be looking into these minibus drivers and whoever it is, taking a chance, bringing down people from the border areas. They know it's wrong, they know it's illegal, and yet you keep doing it. Who's facilitating? And I understand that the police are involved.
And it's not just the police officers that are involved. We have village leaders that are facilitating these people as well. They're going against the Guyana Police Force, the Guyana Defense Force.
Do we have names of the villagers?
We do not have the names at the moment, but that's not something difficult for us to get. However, we've received countless reports from frontline workers and from other village leaders as well that are complaining that, hey, these people are not, they're not cooperating with us. We're asking them to, keep these people out of their villages, don't facilitate anybody from across the border, and yet they're still going ahead. They're still doing this, and then they are going to, they're going to wonder why is it that our COVID-19 numbers, why is it that it's continuing to rise so rapidly? But we all have a responsibility. It's not just the responsibility of the Guyana Defense Force. It's not just the responsibility of village leaders and frontline workers, but you as residents of your communities and of your villages, you have a part to play as well. All right, we're gonna go on to another text. It says, just to bring to your attention, there is a rumor going around on the Essequibo coast that the government is giving out free vouchers at the charity NDC. People were asked to take along their ID. Their name and contact number were written down. This is going on for a couple of days now. Could you guys shed some light if it's true?
I'm not aware of anything. I think the government has not made any. I'm not sure if that was on the previous, if, under the previous administration. I'm sure that if the new government is in place now, that they would want to have an assessment and maybe there's a halt on that, whether see whether it was done in keeping, it is even handed in the way it's been distributed. We should be concerned about that.
All right, we're gonna head to the lines now. Do we have a caller in line? Caller, good afternoon to you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good
Good afternoon.
afternoon.
You guys done a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Okay,
All
a lot of
right.
people. Yes, thank you very much.
Short
dear
and
caller.
to the point, eh?
Yes, and we do thank you for the words of encouragement. Like I said before, Danielle, myself, Kaicho Radio, we're here to just facilitate the programs here, that you could be able to have a voice, and we could probably advise you, give you a hand, or advise you and how to maybe address certain issues. We might not have all the answers, but we could probably guide you along the way and maybe even make a call from time to time. Let us see how we could take it. We need to develop this program. We need to wake up. It's Wake Up Guyana, and that is where you are on Kaicho Radio 99.1, 99.5. Let's get to the lines again. Good day, caller. You on the air?
Good afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon, ma'am.
afternoon.
Is Mr. Gildarie?
Yes, it is.
Good afternoon, sir. And to the young lady, I don't really.
Danelli. Danelli is it. Go
We're gonna
ahead.
have to do something about that.
With the money thing you and the gentleman was talking about, Mr. Gildarie.
Yes.
I'm not really like witness, but I heard from a village person right next to me. She's a single parent, and she got 3 children, and she used to work at a place somewhere by Manripo on the roadside, used to clean glue. And it got a lady there walking with them and telling her that if she invests $100,000, that she's going to get $40,000 every month, and every 3 months she's going to get $100,000.
Mm-mm.
So I asked her, Mr. Gal, like this now we are coolie people. Mr. Gal, Carmen, let me see the lady who will introduce me so me can know who you are. She said the people then don't want nobody to go with her. She alone must go.
Oh
So
my.
they don't want you to go. No other body else cannot go with her. Only she alone.
Well, then raise eyebrow. They're supposed to raise eyebrow right away.
I tell her,
My
but I
antenna
don't
would
know
go
what
up right
she's
away.
doing. But she's a young girl. She's just 38 years old, and she just like she feel like she could make some money.
No, anything. You gotta understand what kind of business. Nobody knows any kind of business where you're gonna get 40% returns.
But
There's no business like that really.
that is it. That is what I'm trying to tell. Me, I ain't go far in school, honestly speaking. But to my knowledge, I know that is not right.
Right, right, right.
You know
Well,
how
me go so
different.
far neither, and I don't know of any business like that. So
So I was listening to you and the gentleman talking about the thing. So I said, I gotta call you and ask you. I don't think this is right.
if you know anybody, tell them run. Tell them to wait. Let it contact the authorities bank again, and we're gonna get the bank again. I'm gonna call Dr. Gobin
Okay.
Ganger, and let him tell me what it is. In fact, I'm gonna ask him to come on the program tomorrow.
Mr. Gildarie, one more thing.
Yeah.
Um, I will call you a week or 2 weeks back,
Hmm.
telling you about this resolve. We got two dams separating and through. And these people putting up building, blocking the dam, planting fruit tree, and this kind of
I
thing.
might be coming up there this weekend and take
I
some
don't.
pictures. Where exactly in Ansgrove? There, if you.
Listen to me. If you're coming straight down on the public road,
Uh-huh.
past Dutch 4 Road,
Uh-huh.
on the before you reach where these people them got to stand selling coconut water and this kind of thing,
Uh-huh.
you just look at it from the roadside, you will see two dams.
Uh-huh.
And there is where these people them build, one build a concrete house, one will build one
And
zinc house.
what about the NDC in the area? Are they not doing anything?
I don't know, sir. I don't know. These people just, it's just after the election thing, is then these people then start doing things. Why am I tell you about it? This morning on Garden Show, somebody calling and says, since PPP take over, them a broke down people place and tell them within 32 hours or whatever you got to move. But then this is lawlessness.
All right, we gonna
This is not right.
I'm probably gonna be in the area there. I'm gonna try to
You
look
take
into
the public road, and if you come just after Dutch 4 and
Mhm.
you look into the two dam, is tractor come by, truck just drive for the two dam. Because when the people then cut the rice at the back, that is the dam they used to go out and come in.
Thank you very much, there, ma'am. Do have a pleasant rest of the day.
Okay, yes. Good
God bless. So there you would have had it. I'm not sure. One of the things that we got to talk about, Danelli, is that you living in a community. The authorities there, like maybe the town council, um, the NDCs, if there's whatever authority that is there. Now, if you have construction going on, how come you don't know that there's illegal construction? Let me bring a case in point. Right back of the NDC in the Grove Diamond area there, on the entire sea dam. If you go there, you're going to be extremely shocked. I think Kaichon News had done a story about the living conditions where these people were living under. And I think it was the Minister of Citizenship then under Winston Felix. They had stepped down. He even visited the place and they gave out some hampers to the people, stating that they're going to try to regularize them. But where was the NDC in this entire process? You don't know one house building. Let's say you don't know one house building. It's shacks, and they have maybe sometimes a dozen people living in these little square thing. Not probably bigger than the studio. And nobody did anything about it. You have to be aware as the authorities what is happening in your jurisdiction.
Exactly.
And I don't know. Something does blow my mind away, and I think these are a couple of cases is happening. You're wondering they come in wrong and they ask you, could you please vote me in for the local government? After that, I don't even know who are the councillors for my NDC. Maybe I'm a little too busy, but these people are not there in your face. I would want to be in your face to ask you, why are you throwing garbage over your back fence into that 4 foot? Everybody know what a 4 foot is. And why are you doing that? Why do you keep a place like this? Why are you mixing cement on the road? These are people that's supposed to be around. Somebody need a bike or a bicycle ride along the street to see what is happening. But do we have any people, any persons doing that? Except if you put in a little addition, somebody run down by a place right away. No, break it down, break it down. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand, but it is what it is. Back up with you.
All right, we've got a message here. It says, Mr. Gildarie and Miss Singh, good afternoon. A few years ago, Jamaica was rocked by pyramid schemes. Many people were ripped off. Many of the perpetrators are now behind bars. Adam Sanford is a good example. He is now doing 20 years in Texas. Guyanese people ought to beware of these schemes that we had. You know, just this morning we were discussing this, and our last caller, she would have touched on it as well. A lot of persons are running in with all these promises that, hey, you're gonna make millions in a month or 2 months. All you got to do is invest 100,000 or 200,000. People go taking their life savings and investing, and then nothing comes out of it. I know for sure you were considering it at one point.
Considering what?
And making the investment.
I don't have money. Raj, you have money? My little salary they come with barely cover buy covers. I don't know. No, I have some, but let me tell you, I don't. I mean, I can't find myself doing those kind of things because the minute that you come tell me 40% when I know the bank is giving 2% or maybe, I'm looking at you. What kind of business are you doing? Are you on drugs? Are you doing? What are you doing?
But
You
you
gotta
see,
ask.
but you see, a lot of persons are still falling for these traps. They're falling for it because they don't know better. They have no knowledge of it. And then we have people with their slick tongues. They're gonna come and sell you this product and sell you this service, and
Be,
big
s-
hopes, big
uh,
dreams.
be smart. Do not be like Joe. Joe is as a bad man, but Joe did not listen, and Joe is paying the price right now. I mean you, Mr. Joe Singh, some other Joe. But if you're not joining us, this is the Wake Up Guyana show with your host Leonard Gildarie and Danielle Singh here right on Kaicho Radio 99.1, 99.5. I want to say good day to all our people again. I love you guys. The Nelly love you guys. The
Mm-hmm.
all Kaicho Radio love you guys. We should bring this country back. Let's rescue this country. Get up, do your things, put some energy in your body, plant some garden. Let us look out for our neighbors. If you have something, if you're in a shop right now, if wherever you are, you're listening, I want you to know, put some life into you, put some energy into yourself, and let us help one another. Let's see what we could do to bring this country to another level. We have to have the conversation. We have to try. We can do it. We can do it. There's another caller in line. Let's go again. Good day, caller. You on the air?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Leonard, I overheard a lady or somebody telling about this lady who in somewhere Mandipo taking this 40,000, 100,000. It's a Ponzi scheme, it's a money laundering business. You gotta get the police and the people, the authorities to get these people. They had this thing in Guyana here, where all in the states they had this thing. And they had to go after these people, robbing a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this thing should be taken good care of. Let the police them know, and someone in authority will get rid of these things. A couple of years back, they had a say, they had a guy from BDL used to do this business, and he
Mm-hmm.
was caught robbing a lot of people with this thing. It's a money laundering business, you call it. They don't want nobody to know what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so, yes, we are going to bring those folks, many folks we were hearing, business people including big business people, would have been caught. They would have been promised, invest $1 million, you're going to get $400,000 return in a couple of weeks. By the time they caught themselves, they put in $10 million and they didn't see $400,000. I'm not going to say that we're idiots. I'm going to say Gildarie's the idiot. I'm going to blame myself because I don't know that I had friends like that. You guys got to be smart. You made a lot of money doing business. Continue your business. We don't put your money in somebody's hands who is showing you. I understand that they set up some screens. When you go in, you see all Wall Street figures with all the graphs and everything. And they're talking to the traders. You're actually talking to traders because the traders, as far as they're concerned, they're doing legit business in Guyana. They don't care about the man there who's probably. But you got to ask yourself when you give somebody the money, how are they sending it through the banks? The banks have got strict anti money laundering regulations right now. And when you start sending money, receiving money, how did you get this money? Oh, I was doing stock trading. So you licensed to do that? I mean, we got to start thinking. Let's think logically this entire thing through. We would have had a financial expert, Mr. Joseph Singh, not too long ago, who is has a finance background, and he would have been very familiar, being in the group, studying what has happened in this couple of cases, forex trading, and of course accelerated fund. We're gonna ask you guys to come on board here to tell us how all of us at Kaicho News, including Kevin, who has a lot of money, to invest in something like this, and Mr. Lal too. I think we'd be very interested to have you guys here. We want to invest. I'm going to ask him to invest maybe our pension scheme in something like this. We want to make some money, right? You want to make some money?
I want to make some money,
And if
but
anybody want to join in too, we're gonna ask these guys to come here, man. I would like to sit opposite them, and so we could be able to ask you. So where you put in this money? How you get it? Are you licensed? Let us ask them the questions. I want to bet that nobody's gonna come here. I want to bet that. But let's go back to some other messages and maybe some calls.
all right, we've got another message here. They're saying that, first of all, they want to congratulate the great work Kaito Radio has been doing. Persons are saying that they would have applied for house lots since 2006, and they're wondering if they are going to get through this year. It's 2020. It's been a long time, and they're wondering if the new government is going to do anything about that. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm hungry.
I'm thinking I need to go apply for a house lot as well.
I think, look, I know Colin Crowell. Colin Crowell is the brother of Robert Posada, who was a former Minister of Agriculture. Susan Rodriguez is the junior minister, or what you would say, the minister within the Ministry of Housing. I think housing, I did a lot of articles on housing leading up to 2015. And if you could get housing right, if you could kickstart it, that is going to be an entire sector which could do a lot. Imagine you're talking here not only contractors on work for laborers, right? You're talking transportation people with cantors. You're talking building materials coming into the country. You're talking about hardware stores. You're talking about lawyers getting work because they'd have to process mortgages. You're talking about banks, the application into the bank. It's an entire sector there that's building up. In fact, it was one of the biggest drivers of the economy in the 2013, 2011 area. That there was a lot of building happening. I think over the last couple of years, 2, 3 years, there's been a hold up because not much land was given up. But not only that, too, people were very careful. The economy was definitely stagnating. But if they could get that Ministry of Housing thing right, if they could start back the applications, find new lands, because I think we ran out of lands on the East Bank as well as on the East Coast. I think there's some land, some sugar lands there, but I'm not sure. These are prime lands. Do you want to give it up for housing? Maybe head up the East Bank a little, open some of those lands that we have along the highways. I think Irfan Ali, as the Minister of Housing, would have launched a scheme with former President Donald Ramatara, was at that launch in which they were talking about this, I think some kind of city up the highway there, in which they wanted to open industrial parks and so on. And maybe these are areas that we got to think about long term. Move the capital, try to drift the population away from the capital, businesses away from the capital, because we're dealing also with climate change and the rising sea levels and so on. We would have seen those waters when we have the spring tides, the high waves. That would have been threatening. So we have to start taking these things into account. Let's see what the new ministers, youthful set of people would be doing. I'm interested to see how fast they hit the ground running. I think they've already started. Results is what is important. Let's see what happens here. Over to you.
All right, do we have another caller on the line? Caller, good afternoon to you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie and Miss Bartico. Instead of trying to remember Danielle, I can remember Bartico. Firstly, any scheme, any promise to give you 100% turnover could never be fair, could never be right in any way. Business people do business with a 10% turnover, so that's not right. But I'm looking at some of the schemes. We got one of them in Guyana. But what we wanted to say, don't worry, the one in Guyana, is that most of these things, even if you get them on the program, will show you that they're law. They're covered by the law, they're legal, they have all the legal framework, all the legal paper. The problem with these schemes is that you do not know when they're going to pack up and go away. And that's where you get robbed. They have all the legal documents, people who are the teachers, and they do all of it. For instance, they got the one in Guyana. You go for a house. You got to pay off 75% of it before you can move in, which is about $7 million. The point is they're taking people's monies and turning it over. One person tell them, but listen, I can get a bank take the loan from the bank for the whole thing, and you will get, I will pay the bank. You notice that they know why they don't want the bank, because the bank will investigate what they are doing properly, because the bank don't go into business like that. So people need to be smart and understand what's going on. That's what's happening.
Yes, sir.
Secondly, I want to know where Mr. Rambaran went. For 5 months, they're doing all with the building. He had nothing to say. Now he's coming out. And I will be very, very upset with any government that allow Mr. Rambaran to claim they can collect rent and he can take back the building. Because our taxpayers' money go there. And I do not agree with what is going on there. And I hope to God that nobody don't allow this to happen. Because for 5 months, you said not a word. When you was asking what was the deal. Mr. Yog was asking what was the deal. Everybody in this country was asking the deal. He said nothing. Now you show up and say people owe you rent. I pray that it doesn't happen. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, sir. And I think you would have heard the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, would have made it very clear his unhappiness over this entire project. And let's see where that goes. I think this development would have shocked a lot of persons. How did you build on a property that does not belong to you? What authority would you have used? And if it was that it was compulsory acquisition, as was advertised in the official gazette, how come the man is now claiming that it still belongs to him? Lots of questions here. We would have learned that certain officials would have said that it was in receivership, that piece of property. And if you don't know what we're talking about, it's the Ocean View property opposite Movitong, or obliquely opposite Movitong there, on the the northwestern side of Movitong, opposite across by the seawall there. It was a former hotel, and it was abandoned for a little while, well, not used rather. And then they decided to convert it into a specialty hospital to deal with COVID, infectious disease hospital. What you would have seen here right now is that the farm owner, or the owner, Wilfred, what his name is, Jacob Rambaran.
Yeah.
He's claiming that he hasn't been paid rent. So if you acquire the property, how you want to rent for this property? So something is wrong with this picture here. We need to bring clarity to it. Obviously, $52 million could go a lot of way. I could think about how many hampers I could stock with $52 million. So let's get it right. We need the answers to a lot of things. And when you open them out, when a couple of people open them out and start talking about evictions, let's talk $52 million, right? Many more things to discuss here. But we're not going to beat around the bush or thing. Let's call a spade a spade. Over to you, Denelli.
All right, do we have another caller on the line? Caller, good afternoon. This is Wake Up Guyana. Good afternoon. We lost that caller. All right, let's touch a bit more on this controversy over the COVID-19 hospital. Now, we know that the owner, Mr. Rambaran, is saying that if the government doesn't pay up, if they don't pay this money, and he's going to take back his property. That's what he's saying. So the question now is, what is going to happen to all of the money that were invested?
No, that is no. Let us get it right. Mr. Rambaran is saying that. That is what he's saying. There's another side maybe to the story. Let us see if it is. I don't think that our government, the previous government, or the administration, the outgoing administration, the caretaker administration, was so stupid that they would take over $1 billion to make up this place, then to stock it in readiness for COVID-19, and they don't own the place. I was told specifically that this building here, because it owed the bank, and the businessman could not pay. It went into receivership. Receivership is when you can't pay the bank, they take away the property, sell it, and whatever it is, if there's money left back, the owner of the property who could not pay would get some, and the bank get back their money. And it was in that state of limbo when the government was looking for place, and they said, okay, at least that's how the story goes. We are going to look at this property here. We in bad need of it, and they start looking at it. So he is coming out now. So he is saying that he is the owner. Is Mr. Rambaran the owner of this place? That is what needs to be determined first. So we don't know. There are many sides to the story. Interesting story. Let's see how it develops.
All right. Do we have another caller on the line? Caller, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm calling concerning a problem with GT&T. What
You're
happened is that since last year, November, I applied for a line transfer within
Mm-hmm.
the same area code. And until this day, I can't get this thing sorted out as yet.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I call them, they keep going around in circles all the time. So I can't get this thing started out since last year, November 21st. I have applied for this job.
November 24th, let me see.
Yeah,
There's December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Unbelievable. This is nine
yeah.
months we talk about.
What happened last week, Sunday, yeah, Sunday, again, they called me and they said that that they come in, and I had to put away my activities for the Sunday, and I just wait for them. Nobody didn't show up. I put away Monday even because I ain't got to work Monday, and still this person
Where did you want this line transport to? From where to where?
from Lady County to him.
To Wim.
Yeah,
That is Barbies,
they just
quarantine.
they just a village away, just within the same area code.
Wow. Thank you very much. Well, let me tell you how you could deal with that. The Public Utilities Commission.
I think the place is closed,
Up in Barbies there.
Yeah, it's closed. I think it's
I'm
closed.
gonna try to get you a number right now. Hold on. Like, just could you stay on the line in the meantime? Danelli is gonna get up. Hold a second again. Did you get a number for? Do you have a telephone directory?
Yeah, I'm using a cell phone here. I don't have any phone. I don't know directory.
Okay, hold on. Just 1 second, please. Because we're here to help our people. Um, the Guyana Public Utilities Commission. Um,
all right. In the meantime, remember you can give us a text on 622-2222, or
I
you
made a
can
text
call us
already.
on
226 7042. 226 7042.
2267042.
Call them. That's the Public Utilities Commission. Said that you have spoken to Kaicho Radio, and they advise you to do that. I think the chairperson, Miss Dila Britton, she's always very happy to hear from her people because they get acting right away on it. They're very serious about these complaints that come in.
So it's 2267042, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you very
Yeah.
much for calling.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
God bless. So good day to all the people in Barbies. Wim, Letta Kenny, how you guys doing? Blackbush Polo. No, they've been listening to us. Good day to you guys. Of course, right across, we go across to New Amsterdam area there. Good day to you. Kanji. And of course, we go across to, um, where are the other areas there? You don't know the areas? Port Morant. You gotta go up there. It's a nice place. Very nice place.
I'm a Bartica girl. I know Bartica.
No, you got to travel this country. This country is beautiful. We going fishing in Blackbush, and you get the best hassle. Alright, some people down in Northwest is gonna get very upset here. The best hassle come from Blackbush. I'm gonna fight for that. Anybody know about where the hassle come from? Well, let's get back to the line. Tomorrow, before we go to the line, tomorrow is the inauguration ceremony at the National Cultural Center for President Irfan Ali. You will recall that he was sworn in after a day of drama last Sunday at the National Cultural Center. It will be the scene again tomorrow for his inauguration. And what we would have seen over the last couple hours is that the army and the police, they were practicing for the ceremony there tomorrow, the inauguration ceremony of Guyana's ninth president, Irfan Ali, Mohammed Irfan Ali. So back to Denelli. What do we have right now?
Do we have a caller on the line? Caller, good afternoon to you.
Hello?
Could you speak up a bit, please?
Yes, I just want to know. I'm calling from Toronto.
Yes. Go right ahead. We're hearing you. You're on air.
I'm watching the program right now, and I want to know where do I go to get information about property in Guyana.
About what?
My property in Guyana to sell.
You want to sell your property? You'd have to find a family, and you would have to get, or maybe some real estate.
I am the family, but I want to know where do I go to get the price, the valuation of it.
Okay, that would be there is a valuation office of the Ministry of Housing. I think it's on Camp Street. We don't have a number right now for you. Maybe if you could text us your information to 62222, and maybe we could have a text back.
I am calling that number, but it's busy right now because I'm watching the program.
Yes. No, 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 no. What I'm saying, you could send us a text of what you want. What is it that you're inquiring about? The 6222222, and what we could do for you there is try to maybe link you up with the places that you may be asking for some kind of service.
Yeah, my place is over the river in Port Wine.
Right, right, right. Well, this program here does not really deal with that. This program here deals with something else. But if you want to sell the property, what you really trying to find is a real estate agent. I can't recommend you. I don't know of anybody, but I'm sure there's a dime a dozen around the place. But we could probably link you up with the valuation officer, but you still need a real estate agent or maybe a family member who could guide you through the process.
Well, I'm living in Toronto, and I'm hoping I would come in December if everything works out okay.
Right, right. All right. Well, let us know how that goes. You send us a text to 6222222, and if there's anything that we could help you with, maybe let us know the circumstance, what you want, and we're going to take it from there.
Thank you, brother. Have a safe one. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, and all the best to our people there in Toronto, our Guyanese brothers and sisters, and of course, right across Canada. Beautiful place, clean place across the United States of America there. Wherever you're joining us from, a good day to you. Hope New York is safe, like New York, like upstate New York, and Europe. Thank you for joining us. But of course, let's don't forget beautiful people right across Guyana. Over to you, Danielle.
All right, I've got somebody has a specific question for you, Gildarie. It says, where did you find the Nelly from?
I could go into a long story, but we're running out of time. We got about 10 minutes. That is a story. Do you want me to tell it?
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, we don't have enough time. I'm going to leave Raj to
It's
tell
a very
that
long story.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Somebody saying, hey, good afternoon. I would like to see our president looking into our special need kids. They're hoping that the government can provide some amount of public assistance for families with special needs children. I think that would be a very nice
No,
something.
we need to spend our money that we have in Guyana here to help our people. This is
Yeah,
something I want
yeah.
to see our oil money being spent so we could help our vulnerables, our pensioners, our single parents. Let us see how that goes. But in the meantime, I'm being told a little while ago, a caller would have asked for assistance. She had some heart problem. Let me tell you, somebody, a good friend of mine, would have sent a text here. Thank you very much, Doc, for that. There's a special section. Let me say who it is. It's Dr. Vishwa Mahadev. It's his Joke's brother, and he's always such a good guy, tuning in, always sending us a little text here and there, encouraging us. A good day to you, Doc, and to all your family. And of course, I miss my brother, Dr. Yog Mahadev, but I have a good replacement for you, sir, and she's doing a fantastic job so far. There is a special section which we set up and will be there again to deal with help for individuals up to 5,000 US. This is about $1 million. And this is the head of the department of that department is Miss Bibi Siraj, Ministry of Health Compound. So if the caller is listening, Bibi Siraj, Ministry of Health Compound, Brickdam, you could go in there and ask and see how you could start the process rolling with regards to assistance. Many families asking, and maybe you guys could do that from there. Let us know how it goes. Thank you very much for that. As we come to wrap up time, we got about 8 minutes. Maybe we could take a couple calls right quickly.
Yeah, we can take a couple of callers.
Right.
Good afternoon. This is Wake Up Guyana.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I listen to this program every single day, sir.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
I
ma'am.
want to make one thing. We thank God to get a good president in this Guyana. We work with a company for, you know how much years now, but 3-4 years, Integrated Security Service, and they pay every 2 months. You have to wait for that salary. So we asking if we can get little changes in Guyana, honestly. We asking and we thank God we get a good president. And he help us because he
Mhm.
punish a lot with these people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad that that caller would have raised the issue of security companies. We have had so many sordid stories when it comes to the operation of security companies in Guyana. Somebody started up and they don't get paid and they leave all the security, poor people suffering, people, single parents, elderly folks who would have, wanted a job to take care of themselves. And they're very blatant, they're very shameful. They're very shameful the way they operate. They don't even pay the NIS. Many of them have affiliations to maybe government officials, and so don't even pay the taxes, but they owe the small people.
Yeah.
And if these are the people, if you have a track record of that going forward, these are companies that should be immediately disqualified from having any contracts with government. The minute that you got a bad track record, owing people, we got to start calling them out. Do not owe the people. If you can't operate, leave the work. Leave it. Move on. Go to something else.
Yeah.
Do not hire the people you can't pay the people them. And if you heading into it and you're blaming that the government that does not pay you, you should have money. You should have banking arrangements that you get some money to float you around about the 2 months or so you can move on. But if you don't get paid, you're telling me that you went into this. That is so. I mean, it is unbelievable. Some of the stories. In the night, I go home sometimes through my street. I see at least two security guards. This is around 10 o'clock sometimes. Going through with a little umbrella. And I said, woman, but it is what it is. She's going to work every night. And there's another lady too, and they're very proud. They have a job. They're going to it. Imagine you turn up at the end of the month, 2 months you get a salary. What are we doing?
Yeah. How are you surviving?
I don't know, but it's sick. But you guys get your act together. Security companies, you guys are gonna come under the radar.
All right, we're gonna head into our next call. Caller, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Go ahead.
You know, in terms of those kind of business like security company and then things that employ people, the government should make the allowed down a certain amount of money at least to cover salary for a month. You know, you should have a money put aside. Yeah, you know, so that you could fall, like what it is asked the airline them to do.
Right. I agree with you.
Because these people charge a lot of money for the guard in front of you business place. And then they live in a nice life, but the guard, like you were talking to, I mean, I'm a taxi driver, so enough time I would see people on the road. Sometimes, you know, they're waiting for a bus just to reach the walk. And it's not easy for them to left their family. Another thing that I would like to see is we're going to be on the trust of getting a lot. I would like to see the government have a nice approach to first-time home owners in this country. You know, Gildarie, there is a certain amount of tax the government gets when you borrow a loan. So I think if the Minister of Finance could look into it, for those who might be borrowing a loan to build a house for their family and them to live in, not building a house for rental. It's got to become a commercial property. But if you're going to go and borrow a loan of 10 million, 12 million for build a house for you and your wife and your kids, I think the government, because of the wealth that we're going to get, should remove their share of tax from the loan. Just let the bank take their portion. Just to help people to get a start. And, you know, because sometimes when you check it up, it might sound like a little bit, but when you check up the money that the tax that government got to get from their share of the loan, they could remove that and give people, you know, a chance to own their own home, make it easier for people. I mean, those are the things I would like to see we use our wealth to do. Not to go buying, you know, unnecessary thing and doing this and doing things to benefit the people.
I like that.
There's enough land in Guyana, you know. Every Guyanese, you know, I think in 10-year time, if the right policy is put into place, we could have a zero tenant thing in this country. You might be knowing that they got some people that got a little, a one-bedroom apartment, they want $40,000 a month and all kind of things.
Yep,
know?
right.
And so it's better we have that guy paying a $40,000 loan at the bank.
Mm-hmm.
you know, or even adjust it to 30 so that you can still got an extra 10 in your pocket. I mean, as time go on, Gildarie, I need the government to keep an eye on program like yours. They could hear some of the complaint of people, some of the ideas, and work with it. You know, you got to listen, and I hope the president, because I remember in your program, anytime he said he's willing to listen, I hope you really keep up to it. I hope do the things to benefit the people, man. It's not bribery.
Mm-hmm.
Do the right thing, and people is going to keep you in power.
Mm-hmm.
You can't want to do stupidness and get another term. Work towards another term and another term.
Mm-hmm.
By doing the right thing for people, people must benefit.
Absolutely.
Gildarie, thank you much for listening to me.
Thank you very much, dear sir, and do have a pleasant good day, and of course keep safe on the road. So I want to say a good day to all our taxi drivers, minibus drivers, decent, hard-working men. Some of you, a number of you also have been breaking the laws, have been doing some madness on the road. Stop it. You need to take care. You need to be sure that you are taking the necessary precautions. Do not speed or overtake and do some of the things that we've been seeing. You're endangering other people. But a good day to you, taxi drivers, and a good day to all our people who have joined us as we bring the program to a close. Wake up, Guyana, we want to say to you on behalf of Kite Radio, Kite News, myself, Leonard Gildarie, and Danielle Singh, and all the guys in the radio room here, including Kevin, Raj, Joshua, and the rest of the management. Thank you for joining us. Tomorrow we are going to prepare for the inauguration. We're going to bring you live streaming there from the National Cultural Center, and that is of the inauguration ceremony of President Irfan Ali. And I want to say thank you very much for joining us. It's once again has been an engaging time for us. And as always, a pleasure serving the good people of Guyana and having you join us right across this beautiful land of ours and wherever you would have been joining us from. A good day to you and have a pleasant rest of the day. Until we meet in room 592 with myself and Dr. Yog Mahadio this evening at 7:30 p.m. sharp.
Win $100,000 monthly with Sleepy Sanitary Pads. Sleepy Sanitary Pads are all natural and are made with cotton and bamboo fibers. It is dye and lotion free, hence no